Has Vince McMahon been pushed out of WWE Creative? There are major AEW Dynamite Title Tuesday changes, and a title match has been added to WWE Crown Jewel. Stay tuned for the news. Well, kicking things off today is some Vince McMahon news. Of course, we love getting some Vince McMahon updates, and you know, he's been back in WWE for a few months now. He had his brief retirement, but he's had a little bit of an input in how WWE's ran, especially since they had the merger announced. And some reports over the past, 24 hours have sort of shown a little bit new light into maybe his role in WWE and the fact that he might not have as much control now as we thought he did.
No, so PW Insider got the ball rolling on this. They said that Vince McMahon has been making small and large creative changes since his return to the company. However, creative control has recently swung in the favour of one Paul Levesque, leading to a significant morale boost backstage for one thing.
Absolutely, yeah.
The wording used has been anointed or knighted.
Yes, so it looks like the specific saying, Matt Johnson saying Triple H has been knighted by Endeavour, which, I mean, I can understand why. Everything seems to be firing on all cylinders under Triple H. So Sir Papa H has got the book, you know?
Fightful Select dug a little deeper into this as well. They said, we can confirm that this is a significant prevailing belief within the company. There has been a significant boost in optimism in recent weeks over the 8 months or so that preceded it. Talent has not been outright told that Vince McMahon is no longer involved, and most of them were never outright told that he was making changes after returning, though all of them knew he was. We're told over the last few weeks, even many of those late changes that are indicative of Vince McMahon creative have stopped, outside of ones that have taken place due to medical clearance, like where we've seen Becky Lynch unable to compete last minute and such like
LA
that.
Knight as well, of course, missing many fears that LA Knight being pulled from that episode of SmackDown when it scrapped plans that it was going to be a Vince McMahon change, but of course he had COVID, so it kind of stopped those in the tracks.
Yeah, so regarding Vince being out for good from creative, unanimously, according to Fightful Select, there was an "I'll believe it when I see it" approach from talent and staff, which I totally get why.
Yeah,
the amount of times they've gone, Vince is gone. Oh wait, there he is.
He's back again. He's backstage.
He's back once again with the Renegade Master. Fightful do confirm that Endeavour, as PW Insider say, has been anointed or knighted. They say that they look upon Triple H fondly, do Endeavour, which has led many to have more faith in his creative direction and less Vince McMahon additions. I've got a quote here from one higher up who told Fightful, I think you have to look at the show. Johnny Gargano's back after his return was nixed. Tegan Knox is on the show. Dragon Lee is all over the program. Carlito finally factored in after being under contract for months. Cameron Grimes got back on TV. Big Bronson Reed is winning matches. Tag team titles and IC titles are getting long matches to end Raw. I'm not going to say that all of those are direct results of the situation, but all of those parts moving at the same time is a little too much of a coincidence for me.
It really is. It feels like the show it feels a bit more like Black and Gold NXT. When Triple H was in charge of Black and Gold NXT, you had all these sort of talents, these style of talents, maybe not these talents necessarily, but you had all these names that were a big featured factor of the show, and the show felt coherent. The show, the Raw and SmackDowns at the moment, and the pay-per-views as well, the premium live events, all feel like they have a plan, and that plan is moving forward week by week, whereas before it did feel like certain things would just get torn up. Like, if it does feel like Triple H has the book, and that obviously that's us. We've got a bit of confirmation bias going, Triple H is in charge, so that makes sense because we like all these things. Yes. But it definitely feels a little bit more sure of itself, its booking.
I think that's the big difference, and I know there'll be people that will complain about the fact that you can't just dismiss Vince McMahon's creative. He's been the driving force for decades, and there will be some, and I totally respect that he has been for a long time. But you must appreciate when watching the product that there are certain flavors that come through when it's a Vince-controlled show of recent memory and a Triple H-controlled show, and as Fraser say, the key is coherency. There's a story that runs through it. You get a clear idea that there is a direction that they're going in, whereas Vince very much booked week to week, would change things last minute without any real reasoning or logic behind it.
Was just, I don't want this week.
It was sort of hot shot booking a lot of the time.
Yeah, whereas this feels like they are trying to be the best promotion on TV and trying to have storylines that you stay invested in, because they do have competition now, and that competition is building up a big show for Tuesday night. For tonight, it's a random Tuesday night episode of Dynamite. The schedule has been changed. It's going head to head with NXT, and we've got a little bit of updates on what's been happening there. AEW have revealed that they will have the first half of Title Tuesday on Dynamite commercial free. This is in response to NXT going commercial free for the first half an hour. They're going neck and neck. They are going, we have got no adverts, no Domino's Pizzas adverts in here, no NordVPN, all that good stuff. They're just going, here's the wrestling. On top of that, Dynamite will also have a 10-minute overrun period and a pre-show. It's Title Tuesday and it's Tony Khan's birthday. But like, he's added more work for himself.
They are pulling out all the stops. Both sides are going for it. There's a school of thought around all of this. Obviously, season premieres are taking place at the moment.
This week, yep.
So that coincides a lot with some of the big decisions that both sides are making. Absolutely. WWE are looking to market NXT as a third brand once again. So put them in the best position possible, capitalize on some previous high ratings with main roster stars, but also they're not resting on their laurels since there's another wrestling show basically in the garden next door. That's another reason that's happening here. Some people are saying it's not happening because of that, it's not happening because of X, because of Y. It can be both. It can be a happy combination of both. AEW also, they're booking an extra large show because they're not on the day that they're normally on.
Yeah, they've got to bring those viewers in from another night, and they've got, well, as we said, the pre-show, Eddie Kingston versus Minoru Suzuki. Kicking things off on the pre-show. So, like, that's a good way to kick it off on the buy-in. And then having advert-free, it's Adam Copeland's first match in AEW, so it's going head-to-head with John Cena, Cody Rhodes, and The Undertaker. It's a big night. The first 30-minute commercial free on NXT is surely just going to be The Undertaker's entrance.
You think so, wouldn't you?
Uninterrupted Undertaker entrance.
Because he's one of the names. Now he's not been outright said, but they had played an advert for NXT earlier, all over the weekend, which featured The Undertaker's famous dong coming out, and that's made people believe that we're probably going to get something with Undertaker on NXT tonight.
I feel like we're going to. And I mean, there was a little bit of a confirmation from Cody Rhodes, like on that press conference at the end. He was like, yeah, there was like Undertaker's gong going off. Yeet! And then that was like confirmation in itself. But Tony Khan also got into a little bit of a Twitter rivalry over the show.
It was a bit of a spat. This was an interesting one. So, he got into it with somebody online. He called out Tony Khan. Basically, so somebody said they weren't going to be watching. So Tony Khan replied back to them, okay, we won't see you. I don't care. Somebody said, if Vince did something similar, there'd be AEW fans complaining about it. To which Tony Khan replied, if Vince McMahon said this, it would be the least of his alleged misdeeds. And all the noises that Cody and Jay made during the presser.
I can't believe it. Skirt, skirt. You know, it's all that good stuff. But AEW Title Tuesday's card is pretty big. We've got Christian Cage, MJF, Timeless, Tony Storm. You've got Bryan Danielson versus Swerve for a TNT Championship Contenders match. That's going to be pretty good. You've got Phoenix versus Jon Moxley for the international title. Then you've got Adam Copeland's in-ring debut on top of that, and a bunch more matches. NXT also shaping up to be very, very good. Roxanne Perez versus Asuka, and Braun Breaker versus Carmelo Hayes with Paul Heyman and John Cena in each respective corner. It's a pretty big night for wrestling.
Less matches announced for WWE, more it's moments names. And people and names.
I guess that's how the two companies market themselves. WWE is very much the draw is the talent, like the names. Oh, John Cena's going to be there. It doesn't matter who he's against. People are going to see John Cena. In AEW, you want to have the athleticism, the matches, the talent in the ring being like, you're going to get this dream matchup of Bryan Danielson versus Swerve on one side of the fence, but on the other side, you're going to get Cody Rhodes making an announcement that we don't know what it is yet.
They're both sides are dancing with what brung them. You know what? Exciting night for wrestling.
It is an
both
exciting
companies
night.
just throwing everything at the wall. I'm all for it.
Exciting thing in wrestling is our top 10 list, the 10 best inaugural champions in wrestling history. Go and check that one out on the channel. But to round things off just now, we've got some update on a Crown Jewel match. This was confirmed on Raw last night that Seth Rollins will defend his World Heavyweight Championship Against Drew McIntyre.
Scotland! Your cousin Drew!
Yeah, we lost to the Irish in the rugby, but he's getting a shot in Riyadh.
Exactly as it should be. Yes, the inaugural world champion, Seth Rollins, still the champ, putting it up against Drew. So basically, we had a bit with Drew and Seth last night. Seth looked like he was going to retire, and lol, no, I'm not. I'm going to keep on keeping on. Drew said he wants to fight Seth for the title, but won't do it until he is 100%. He wants to do it at Crown Jewel and give him time to be ready. However, he then proved to be a big old hypocrite because Damian Priest attacked Seth and Drew did nothing.
He didn't.
The only thing he did do was as Dirty Dom ran down with the briefcase, little cheeky boy, Drew gave him a big Glasgow kiss to stop a cash in.
He did.
So that was the way that Drew helped. What an interesting bit of sort of mind games that Drew is playing right now. I'm enjoying the Drew McIntyre stuff.
This Drew feels fresh compared to him coming out with a massive sword and just being a Scottish stereotype, really. I'm enjoying what he's doing, and I think if Nakamura wasn't the guy to take the belt off Seth, I think Drew might do it, and then you'll have Judgment Day cash in. I think that's where it'll end up. You'll have Drew versus Damian Priest is a big money match that I think will be where it goes. But that is all we've got just now. We'll be back later on today with more wrestling news. Tom, have you got anything you want to plug apart from the 10 best inaugural wrestling champions in wrestling history?
Why do fools fall in love?
That's a good question. We'll see you later on.